Well, hello and good morning, everybody. It's Workshop Wednesday. Back at the shop, back from vacation, and life is good. One of the questions that popped up at the Bit and Spur conference at Matt Humphreys was, how do I cut a solid mouthpiece? How do I trim after I do a forging on a Baskin's mouthpiece? One of the ones I forge out is how do we measure? How do we get the port in the center and all that stuff? So good question, simple video, simple way to do it. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways, but this is the way Greg taught me, so I'll share with everybody what I got. So as you can see here, here's a mouthpiece that's already been trimmed and the little pipes welded on here, which we call them ferrules, to go on a loose jawed shank. I'll show you different things here. The object is that from the inside of this hole to the inside of this hole, or more specifically the inside of the shanks. Hold on, I got an example over here, y'all hang on. So here's a bit that I'm working on right now. So from the inside of this shank to the inside of this shank, I want to be 5 inches. Now that's average, and you kind of need to talk to your customer. If they have an exceptionally large horse, well, it's very important in the width of a bit. The exceptionally large needs wider. If it's too narrow, then the shanks will point in like this. Let me back up a little bit. The bottom of the shanks will point in because the top of the mouth, the top of the jaws will be pushing it out like that. And then if it's too wide, well, then the bit's able to slide back and forth in the horse's mouth, and these parts right here can damage the inside of the bars of the mouth and create a bit of a problem. So anyhow, all that to say, here's the cheat sheet. Here's the deal. So I simply have perpendicular line drawn on a level, and then you can see here I got some measurements marked out. So if I'm doing a solid shank mouthpiece or solid shank bit, and I need it to be in it straight up and down on the inside of the shank, then I'm gonna cut my mouthpiece exactly 5 inches. And this line here shows me where to do it. So what I'm gonna do, I'll put my mouthpiece in here. I'm gonna line up the bottom lines here, and I'm gonna put this center line straight in the center of my port. Get it all lined up right, and then with the black Sharpie, I'll just mark my line and cut it, and away I go. I have all the fire scale knocked off, and I have it ground down to a 120 grit before I start doing any of this stuff. Before I start cutting, gives me something to hang on to. Also gives me something to clamp here when I want to do my copper inlays, like you see right here. This mouthpiece is all kind of rusty. It was a demonstration deal or something, but anyhow, gives me something to hang on to do all those inlays in the mouthpiece there. So then that's it. If I have a ball that's going in like a ball bearing, and that's my line to cut it. Sometimes this is a 5/16 shank. I'll taper the inside of my shanks, so that means that the mouthpiece, the shank is gonna taper out to the mouthpiece like that, so it gives more room. So I cut those a little shorter, because if I cut them the same as the solid shank here on the 5-inch and then did all that taper, it would really make a lot of room for the bottom of the shank and the top of the shank to scoot in. So anyhow, that's what we do. Hope this has been helpful. It's a cool little trick, and away you go. Mark both sides, cut them up, weld them in. Hope all's well. We'll see y'all next week. Adios.